Welcome back to Crime Vault Files. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, the link is in the description. But right now, it's time for the top 5. The most evil, the most notorious, the most disturbing serial killers in human history. Let's get into it. Number 5, Charles Manson. Technically, Manson never killed anyone himself, but as the leader of the Manson family cult, he manipulated and brainwashed a group of followers into committing a series of brutal murders in Los Angeles in 1969. The Tate murders, the LaBianca murders, a wave of terror that shocked Hollywood and the entire world. Manson's ability to manipulate people into committing murder on his behalf makes him arguably one of the most dangerous minds in criminal history. He died in prison in 2017, aged 83, never showing a single moment of remorse. Number 4, Fred and Rose West, Britain's most evil couple. 25 Cromwell Street, Gloucester, a house that looked like any other on a quiet suburban street, but beneath the floors and buried in the garden lay the remains of at least 12 victims, including their own daughter Heather, aged just 16 years old. Fred and Rose lured young women into their home across a period spanning 3 decades. Fred took his own life in prison in 1995 before facing trial. Rose West was convicted of 10 murders and remains behind bars to this day with no possibility of ever being released. One of the most chilling cases in British criminal history. Number 3, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Cannibal. Between 1978 and 1991, Dahmer murdered 17 young men and boys in one of the most disturbing cases ever recorded. What set Dahmer apart from other killers was the sheer depravity of his crimes. Dahmer didn't just kill his victims. He kept body parts as trophies. He took photographs, and in the most disturbing detail of this entire case, he consumed the remains of some of his victims. Dahmer was finally caught in 1991 when one of his victims managed to escape and flag down police. He was convicted of 15 murders and sentenced to life imprisonment. In 1994, Dahmer was beaten to death by a fellow inmate in prison. 17 victims, 13 years, and a case that still haunts Milwaukee to this day. Number 2, Ted Bundy, possibly the most famous serial killer who ever lived. Charming, intelligent, handsome, Ted Bundy used his good looks and charisma to lure young women to their deaths across multiple American states throughout the 1970s. At least 30 confirmed victims, though Bundy himself claimed the true figure was much higher. Bundy escaped from custody twice. He represented himself at trial. He gave interviews from death row that captivated the entire world. And right up until his execution in 1989, people genuinely could not believe that this charming, well-spoken man was capable of such horrific crimes. Ted Bundy remains the most recognizable serial killer name in history, but he is not number 1. Number 1, Jack the Ripper. And here is why. Every killer on this list was caught. Every killer on this list faced some form of justice. Jack the Ripper was never caught, never identified, never brought to justice. In the autumn of 1888, in the dark, foggy streets of Whitechapel in London, Jack the Ripper murdered at least 5 women. The brutality of the crimes shocked Victorian London. Letters were sent to police taunting them. The press went into a frenzy. And despite one of the biggest manhunts in British history, Jack the Ripper vanished into the fog and was never seen again. Over 130 years later, we still don't know who he was. We still don't know how many people he really killed, and we still don't know if justice was ever truly served. That uncertainty, that mystery, that is what makes Jack the Ripper the most infamous killer of all time. And that is your top 10 most evil serial killers in history. Do you agree with the list? Who would you have put at number 1? Drop your verdict in the comments below. I want to know what you think. If you missed part 1, numbers 10 to 6, the link is in the description. And if you want more serial killer stories, unsolved cases, and true crime content every week, subscribe to Crime Vault Files and hit the bell so you never miss a case. The vault is open. Enter if you dare.